correct procedure?
Would happen in normal circumstances. Given your particular circumstances, I wrote to you and told you that membership is in the gift of counsel.
I haven't received this letter.
Right. Well, I will send you a new copy of it.
I received a letter stating it's on hold at the moment.
Yes, the letter I wrote to you was one dated the 27th of May, and it tells you that while I appreciate that you will have received a system-generated automated acknowledgement of your application which states that you are a member, this is not actually the case, since under the Constitution, membership is in the gift of the Association's governing council. Furthermore, council is under no obligation to admit an applicant or to provide a reason for its decision should it reject an application.
Right, so you're rejecting it, are you?
I am not rejecting it. What I have said is that, or what it is saying is that it will be going to council, but the next council meeting is not until later in July.
Right, so if you've done nothing wrong...
Council is not obliged to accept any application.
But you took my money off me and then you've put it back in my account.
Taken your money off you.
You took it off me and put it back in my account because it said you are now a member. You now need 24 hours to allow this to go through.
Actual fact, no, it hasn't, because the processing of your application was stopped before it was ever taken. We have never taken any money out of your account.
Right. So do you think that I'm talking to you in a reasonable manner at this moment in time?
At this moment, yes.
Right. So I can tell you, hand on heart, that I've tried to speak to the people who got involved in this in the first place on the internet site, and they were the ones who were patronising and were very, very rude to me. And now you might not have the full story, but I'm talking to you like I started off talking to them. Once they started being very, very patronising towards me, I started to get a little bit wound up with it. I admit that, but at no point have I been nasty to these people, and I've been told that I've threatened them, I've bullied them. It's an absolute farce.
Well,
right now, you can't get involved in that, obviously, because that's not your position. Your position is obviously membership, if I'm right. Is that right?
Ultimately, I'm the finance director, but membership falls within my domain because it's the major source of our
but the
finances.
Thing is,
but the fact remains, that unfortunately, and the way the law works is that and regardless of whether it's you or anybody else, it is the perception of whether someone feels they're being harassed or bullied rather than what the perpetrator may or may not feel.
Yeah, but they do say you can't use recorded evidence in court, but recorded evidence can be brought to your committee, your Basque group, and shown that at no stage was there complete rudeness. There was frustration and arrogance on Basque behalf, that they felt that, go away, you little silly man. Who do you think you're talking to? You can't talk to people like that when you've made a real big mess up in a situation and ruined a man's life.
I'm not going to elongate this into a dispute over conversations with which I was not involved.
Well, it makes hell of a difference when they come to...
All I can say to you, sir...
Makes hell of a difference when they come and sit at this meeting, isn't it? And they decide whether I should be accepted as membership or not accepted in membership, when you've got management actually lying to protect their own selves, and that is a disgrace. And I would like to be at one of these meetings and address the Basque management on the grounds that I was a supporter of Basque, a strong supporter of the countryside ways. I was there at the fox hunting rallies when I don't fox hunt, because I support the country way of life. And for Basque to allow a 5-day insult non-stop against me and my business when I've not been found guilty of any wrongdoing, and because of the politics of your company, you decide that you have to sit on the fence and not give an apology. I gave them an offer of £1,000 and an apology for saying that this should have gone ahead with the bad language and the comments that were made. Not who was right or who was wrong about how you train a dog.
Excuse me, this really isn't going to get us anywhere. I'm not in a position
Well, it is because it's yet again more evidence of your closing shop again. Instead of you saying, "Listen, Mr. Upton, you've calmed down. You're talking rationally. Let me get some senior management who are in charge of our department to sort this out." Because at the moment, I'm spending silly money on solicitors getting it sorted out so we go to court. I don't want to go to court for the cost that I have to pay out and the embarrassment of the shooting world in general.
I can make no comment with regard to any of this. As you know, my participation is purely at a financial and membership level. All I'm saying to you is very simple. BASC is under no obligation to admit anybody into membership, and that is a matter for council. It will be laid before council in July. You are aware that we are...
Right, could you send this to me in writing then, please, giving this insight now that council runs into July, and because the fact that I've been, you saying that I've been rude and aggressive to your people in Basque, and could you name them, who's give you this information? Could you not give me correspondence with that, so we at least got some sort of correspondence? Because at the moment, they're not answering any of my emails, they're not answering any of my... they won't let me get phone calls to them. How can you deal with a company that closes shop completely on you when you've done nothing wrong?
No, well, I can't comment on whether on rights or wrongs in this. I will say this. You are getting very much more heated now, even as we speak.
Well, I don't mean to get heated. I'm just frustrated. It's not heated. It's not. I'm being aggressive or rude or threatening. I'm just getting
much more voluble. And I think the nature of the conversation, you are yourself demonstrating, without reference to any other colleague, that the conversations may have been deeply unpleasant for them.
All right. So this is deeply unpleasant for you, is it?
All I will say is that I will confirm in writing that what most of which I've already told you about council. I will give you the date of the next council meeting.
And you'll give me the reasons why it has been stopped at the moment, because you don't normally stop it.
I don't have to give any reasons why, and I don't intend to give any reasons.
So you've got your rules that you make up that go.
No, this is in the Constitution, and I can even send you a copy of the Constitution, which actually. No. I'm not concerned about your Constitution. What I'm concerned about is you said if you've got a reason to stop somebody becoming a member, I can perhaps understand it. But we don't. It doesn't matter whether we have a reason or not, or what that reason is. Council is under no obligation. And
you took my money. You took my money.
Have not taken your money.
And you said on the email, you are now a member. Start using the system. I started using the system. Then you've closed the system down.
Because in fact,
you've actually got backtracked on yourselves. For the very
vast majority of people, then that's the process completed, and it's an automated system.
Yeah, but I can understand that. I can understand exactly what you're saying. If somebody's done nothing wrong, they haven't got a criminal record, or they're not an anti, or they're not trying to cause. Disruption between you and themselves. I came in as a member, and I'm very angry at the fact that you've stopped my membership on the grounds of because I've had a disagreement with the man who allowed this internet debate to go on and on for 5 days, and now he's backtracking, trying to cover his own backside. And I'm not being rude. He's trying to cover his own backside and say that Mr. Upton was aggressive and threatening towards me, when Mr. Upton wasn't aggressive and threatening towards him until he was totally rude to me. And then I said, "You're patronising me. I don't need to be patronised." Right. But I admit, I may have been frustrated in my voice, and I've tried to calm down. As soon as you said to me, "Mr. Upton, you're coming across as loud, and it could be classed as threatening," but at the end of the day, we have to handle things in life the way we see them.
Exactly, and that applies to us as much as it does to you.
Well, that's going to be proven then in court, because at the end of the day, I've got proof of what was said with Mr. What's name, because it was expressed to him that it was being recorded from the start, and unfortunately, his secretary or the person receptionist didn't tell him it was being recorded, and he didn't like the fact that once I told him it was being recorded, and he put the phone down on me, and he's not responded to me since.
Well, as I say, the situation is very simple. You are not a member. It will be referred to our council in July, and whatever council decides, if it is their wish not to admit you to membership, they're under no obligation to explain why. Now, I think I have got the points that you wish to make. I can't go over the ground that you've already been over.
Right. Well, so why can't you put me onto a senior person to speak to me?
Because I am a senior person.
No, not regarding membership. Regarding this issue. Because as you know, and I know, if you're a senior person,
well,
you'll know that.
A person with of comparable seniority who has an insight into this matter is Christopher Graffius, and he's abroad. So I can't put him through to you because he's actually in as I say, he's overseas.
But you could put me onto the chief executive, couldn't you?
If he was in the office, but he's not necessarily.
But he's never in the office. Well, he's never in the office when I try to contact him because I've tried to contact him 14 times.
He's a very busy individual, as I say.
So you don't think that a man's livelihood that has been ruined is an important issue that someone from Basque should be able to pick up the phone and say, let's sort this out and let's not have to go to court, Mr. Upton, because at the end of the day it's going to be embarrassing for Basque on the grounds that we allowed a debate to go on with language and threats of violence to yourself and your good name, and you've never been prosecuted in 25 years of working with dogs.
Look, please, I really don't think this is getting offensive.
No, I'm just asking you, as a senior person, could you not put me on to somebody?
I'm not part of the conversation that you've had.
So what is the procedure? What is the procedure for making complaints then? Because that's the way we're going. We're trying to just get the complaints procedure started so we can do a process of showing the courts that we've tried to contact you and deal with this out of court. Because if you just go straight to court, the courts will say, why haven't you tried to sort this out of court? So we have to prove to the courts why we're trying to make an effort to deal with you, and you're not willing to deal with us.
Well, with all due respect, sir, if you are initiating legal action, then you have been given a card that you can play. And if you expect us to initiate legal action, you're wrong. And
Sorry, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean initial? Why should you initiate legal action?
Exactly. So if we are not responding in the manner that you believe we should be.
No, I've got to prove that I've made the effort. Now, if I keep sending you emails and you're not replying, all I've got is emails that I've sent that you've not replied to. If you came back to me and said, we're not willing to discuss this, Mr. Upton...
Well, I think the answer is very simply, we aren't willing to discuss it. But we have chosen to demonstrate that by trying to sever connection more effectively because you are very persistent.
Persistent? I'm going to be far more persistent than you can imagine. But at the end of the day...
I'm sure that's the case.
No, that's not...
We're not achieving anything. I think we've said...
So you're another one who's going to put the phone down instead of actually passing me on to somebody senior?
Because I am the most senior person available in the office at the moment.
So you've blocked my phone number on every site of Basque. I can't phone any numbers. Is that right?
Exactly, because when you do try and make contact, you become heated. You are just... Have you
got any proof at all of this, or is this just hearsay?
To it right now.
No. You're not listening to it right now, because what you're listening to right now is a recorded message of you and me, right? You're telling me that this is heated. This is recorded, right, for my own benefit, for my own protection, because I keep being told I'm being threatening to people and aggressive to people. Now, wouldn't I be a silly boy if I was being aggressive and threatening to you over the phone and you were saying to me, this is heated, this is terrible, Mr. Upton, and then it turns out to be just a conversation between two people and one person is desperately trying to get this sorted. That's myself. Because at the end of the day, I don't want the hassle of hours and hours and hours of sorting this out. This could be sorted out today within half an hour, speaking to the right person. This could be resolved. Everybody could move on with their lives. I'm a countryman, and all I want to do is live my life in the countryside and get on with doing what I do. Just because the umbrella of gun dogs comes under pet dogs, scurry dogs, and gun dogs, you can't afford as a company to take sides. You have to sit on the fence and pretend nothing happened. That's your choice. You can go ahead and do that, but at the end of the day, if you want to settle out of court, we'll settle out of court. If you want to go to court, you just have to say no. You'll have to take us to court, Mr. Upton, because we're not willing to settle out of court. Because what he did say to me, he said, "What do you want, Mr. Upton?" I said, £1,000 and a letter of apology. No letter of apology. I'll give you the £1,000. Nope. I want the letter of apology. Or £2,000 and no letter of apology. No, I don't want the £2,000. It's not all about money in life. It's about your good name, your good character. It's taken 25 years of skillful knowledge to work out how to train dogs to the level I do. And someone has hijacked a video, and it's not Bass' fault that it started off on Bass' site, but what did happen then is it then escalated for 5 days. They let it run. I've spoken to senior other groups, and they said nowhere on this earth would that be allowed to run for 5 days with language and threats of violence like that. I said, what would have happened if aunties had come involved and got involved in this sort of thing? You've made a big mistake. I accept people make mistakes, even big companies make mistakes. This could be resolved within an hour. Why can't you just, if you're senior management, say, I've listened to Mr. Upton, and actually he's talking a lot of sense. We need to get this...
I don't think you are, and I think this conversation, we've said all that we need to say. You are aware that you are not a member, and that...
I'm not aware I'm not a member. I still think I'm a member. Because the membership was taken out my back. I've just spoke to a girl this morning and got the same conversation over and it's recorded, that she says your membership is live, Mr. Upton. It's just been suspended at the moment for some reason. But it's actually live, she said.
She is unaware. Obviously.
Oh, so she's unaware then, when she looked on the computer, what you've done to me. Is that right?
Well, membership has been suspended pending it going to council. End of debate. You're not a member until council admits you.
Do you find it? Do you find it frustrating talking to someone who's willing to talk?
I find it deeply frustrating talking to someone who is not prepared to listen.
Well, I've listened.
I'm concerned, as with many of my colleagues, I'm going to put down the phone and ask you to stop harassing us. If you don't stop harassing us, we will take this matter further. It is a criminal offence.
I would love you to take it further.